Okay. Just for members' information, the sergeant has indicated that we can stay until about 1:30. I don't think we'll need that time because we only have 2 bills left and then one for vote only. So I would appreciate members to return to the committee room so that we can complete our work for the day. Thank you. Okay, Senator Huff, are you doing SB 1224?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Are you doing
SCA 12?
okay, item 12, SCA 12.
It all works. So good afternoon, Madam Chair and members. I'm here today to present SCA 12 on behalf of Senator Runner and myself. I'm a joint author, although she was taking the lead on this. It's a constitutional amendment which addresses the admission practices of the University of California. If approved by the voters, the measure would reiterate that the primary purpose and obligation of the University of California is to serve the students of California. The entire University of California system is based on the notion and promise to California students first. In recent years, we've seen that promise fading. As you know, the University of California is a public trust administered by a Board of Regents which is independent and free from legislative constraints in their oversight of the operations of the 9 undergraduate UC campuses. The board, however, has a fiduciary obligation to act in the best interest of California students and accordingly must answer to the public. While University of California admission websites proclaim that, quote, as a public institution, we prioritize admission of California residents, end quotes, doubts have been expressed by the public and the press, and most recently by the California State Auditor. Last month, the California State Auditor published a report titled, UC, its admission and financial decisions have disadvantaged California students. The report concludes that the University of California has in fact failed to give California students priority, opting instead to pursue higher tuition paid by out-of-state and international students. Several UC campuses, non-residents are granted admission at a dramatically higher rate than California students. These first 2 charts, which are in your packets as well, there should be, demonstrate the behavior. Please take a moment to note what's happening in the top colleges in other states. You'll see that they admit their state's students first. Between 2010 and 2015, the system-wide number of California undergraduates has declined, while the number of non-resident undergraduates has surged by more than 20,000 students. The non-resident fees paid by these students provide the University of California almost $500 million. That's $500 million in additional revenue each year. But I believe having students from other states and countries is healthy. I've always said education is one of our best exports, but it shouldn't be at the expense of our own resident students, and that is concerning. Increasingly, California students and parents share the perception that seats at the University of California are being sold to the highest bidder. That California students are being passed over for less qualified non-residents who are willing to pay more. The chart dealing with GPAs tells that story. There is clear disparity when you see that out-of-state students are gaining admission with lower standards than California students. California students and their families are entitled to further assurances that their applications are processed fairly and that non-residents do not gain an admission advantage because they are willing to pay an additional $100,000 over 4 years. Public confidence can be restored with greater transparency and accountability regarding non-resident admission rates and qualifications with this constitutional amendment. This amendment is an important reminder as to UC's obligation to the taxpayer and our state's students. Our students and parents deserve better. Let's support them by ensuring our institutions, which were designed to serve them, are obligated to California students first. I have Charles Fennessy here today on behalf of Senator Runner to help with technical questions you may have, and I would ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. In support of the bill, is there any opposition to the bill? Does any member have questions on the bill? Okay, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. We have UC.
Madam Chair and members, Nadia Leal Carrillo with the University of California. The university has removed its opposition on SCA 12. To clarify, our opposition was to a prior version of the bill, not the bill before you. We are in the process of reviewing the language because there's been a legal question that's come up with regard to the wording that's specific to priority in admission and what is meant by that, and any legal ramifications associated with such wording. So we look forward to following up with the author's office on this and having further discussions. Thank you for your time.
Okay, all right. Senator Vidak?
Well, with no opposition, I'd like to move the bill.
Okay. Bill has been moved.
Ready for a stunning close?
Waiting for a stunning close, and I'm glad to hear the UCs are working with the author on this.
We've spoken to them. They had opposition to the prior version of the SEA. Staff has worked with us as well, and I think it's reflected in the analysis. The concern was that too many details in the Constitution might not be appropriate.
Right.
And we think that the UC currently on its website proclaims that as a public institution, we prioritize admission for California residents, but it hasn't been quite evident in the rest of the data that's come out, including the data from the auditor. So we're happy to work with them as we go forward.
Okay. All
And
right.
with that clarification, my stunning close will be, I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. All right. Bill has been moved. Let's call the roll.
Item 12, SCA 12. The motion is due pass to elections and constitutional amendments. Lou,
Aye.
Lou, I. Block, Hancock, Huff,
Aye.
Huff, I. Leyva, Leyva, I. Mendoza, Monning, Pan, Vidak.
Aye.
Vidak, I. That's 4.
4 votes. We'll leave the roll open for our absent members. Thank you. And now you have the last bill of, not quite the last bill of the morning, but you have item 6, SB 1224. Okay, thank you. Bless your heart, Mr. Senator Huff. You just keep on chugging away at this.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Yes, ma'am. My 12th and last year here in the legislature.
Right.
And, you know, we had some comments earlier in the discussion on a different bill, but the pro tem made a comment that our educational system is broken, it's rigged against the poor. Another member at the dais said that basically I was attacking teachers, and I'd like to clarify. My reform legislation is not attacking teachers, it's attacking the system. And the system doesn't distinguish between good teachers and bad teachers. And when I said before, 10% of our teachers are not performing effectively. Just finding a way to change them out would actually be good. So this bill, I've tried others, folks, and we all know it because, Madam Chairman, you've sat through these meetings before when I've had legislation that would reform our last in, first out. And the members of this august committee, in its various iterations, have summarily dismissed such legislation. And so today we still have the same system we had when I entered 12 years ago, and yet we still question what's happening with our educational system. Why are we failing our children? Let's give them more money. Let's give them more everything else except what really counts, and that is a more transparent, a more accountable, a more output rather than input-oriented educational system. So today, in the interest of trying to find some common ground, since the other things have crashed and burned, SB 1224 simply requires school districts to report to the Department of Education the number of reassignments made by governing boards that are based on seniority, and requires the department to make that information available on its website. The bill does not ask for information on the details as to why such personnel changes have been made or requested. Now, there's different bills that come through the legislature, and I've sponsored some that would have transparency for what we do in our process to be 72 hours to have a bill in print or things like that. Transparency is generally seen as a good thing. Now, school districts know exactly why and how many teachers are being reassigned. Why shouldn't the legislature at least know how many? Why shouldn't this committee know how many? Why shouldn't the public know how many? But we don't. So that's what this bill does. a little bit of transparency in the process, so that hopefully, when some other iteration of this committee is dealing with this, because Madam Chairman, you and I will not be here past this legislative session, but they will have some data in their hands so they can make an informed decision that will hopefully help these children get the education that we pay for and the education that they deserve. I believe this is a good step for that. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you very much. In support of the bill. Is there any opposition to the bill?
Madam Chair and Senators, Seth Bramble here on behalf of the California Teachers Association, respectfully opposed to Senate Bill 1224. The senator spoke of attacks, and I got here in 2009. Since then, every year it seems like there's been a new attack on the teacher seniority system in new and creative ways. CTA places a high value on seniority. More experienced teachers are able to produce better results in the classroom than inexperienced teachers. It's a fact that's borne out by research. But when we're talking about assignments and reassignments, what are we talking about here? We're talking about when, for example, there are too many teachers at a grade level or too many teachers at a school site. What the senator is proposing here in reporting that data to the California Department of Education when it occurs based on seniority is simply impractical. As the analysis points out, there's a number of factors that go into that. So, you know, across the state, if you have, let's say, for example, too many teachers at third grade, not enough at first grade, usually what the principal will do first is say, do we have any volunteers? Does anybody want to go down to first grade? If they don't get a volunteer, they consider a number of factors, and seniority is one of those factors. It's also, as the analysis points out, have they taught anything close to first grade before? Do they have special training? Do they have special credentialing? And in fact, we negotiate language around this area that generally has some pretty wishy-washy language in it, something that says something along the lines of, you know, some of the factors that the administrator will consider aside from credentialing, all that other stuff is factors thought to be in the best interest for the operation of the school, something like that. The bottom line is that the administrator is given total authority to move teachers as they want, and occasionally there will be a grievance that's filed based on that contract language. Generally what that comes from is we've seen some situations where a new principal to a school site feels a little intimidated by the fact that there's a 20-year teacher there who has strong connections into the community, knows all the parents, knows all the history of the school, and in an effort to push that teacher into retirement, in some cases we've seen a teacher maybe who's taught kindergarten for 15 years suddenly being told you're going to be given a 6th grade assignment. In those cases, when that occurs, sometimes we'll file a grievance and hopefully negotiate a resolution along the way, because if it gets to the end of the process, if it gets to arbitration, we lose that case. The state recognizes that administrators have control to move folks where they want within a school site, or even out of the school site if there's too many. So it doesn't make sense then, if there's a number of factors being considered, to have a district report to the state when seniority is the issue. Seniority is one of 5 or 6 factors that are being considered. Initially, volunteers is what occurs, but we urge your opposition. It doesn't make sense. It's impractical.
Okay. Others opposed to the bill, please.
I'll step over here so I can see the chair. Michelle Padron, again, Oxnard School District. And I just want to preface my remarks by kind of taking a little bit of umbrage and, you know, saying that I want to defend my system. I want to defend my profession. I don't feel like we're a failure. I think we every single day go out there and do an incredibly difficult job, and we do it with professionalism and with grace and with a lot of heart. And in my experience, when situations happen and teachers need to be moved, the administrator usually gets who it is that they want. So I appreciate it. Oh, also, the people who have to push the papers around have tons of work, and we've seen our bureaucracy grow and grow and grow over the years, becoming more and more bloated. I'm sure that they don't need another thing to have to keep track of.
Deborah Bain, Alfred Unified School District, 18 years of teaching. I consider myself a seasoned teacher, maybe well-aged, strongly opposed to this bill. This is a solution in search of a problem. And we don't need any more of those. We have enough. Thank you.
Jody Dayberry, kindergarten teacher, Lake Tahoe Unified School District, and I rise in opposition. I'm a 20-year teacher and just getting started, and I personally have been asked by my administrator 4 times to make a change due to enrollment needs in our school district. And when I can do it, I accept it, but the process has worked. We have negotiated language that allows for us to work with the district on this. This is an unnecessary proposal. Thank you.
Fola Odebome, North Orange County Community College District. Again, I believe that this issue, anything relating to this, is best done at the local, and there is a process in place, and therefore I oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Carla Zazula, Lake Tahoe Unified School District. I'm a biology teacher, and I'm also the bargaining chair for our association in the district. And in our collective bargaining agreement with the district, we have 8 other criteria besides seniority. And so because of that, I rise in opposition to this, and I hope you can support the opposition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, members, my name is Michael Holsey, Dana Hills High School, Capistrano Unified School District. My main concern with the bill is that ultimately language like this creates a situation where administrators would be less apt to actually enforce a collective bargaining agreement out of fear that additional reporting paperwork would need to be filed and create a situation for them. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Shantae Fauntleroy. I've been teaching in the Hayward Unified School District for 12 years, and I ask respectfully that you oppose this bill.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Bill Lucia with Ed Voice. We didn't write a letter on the bill, but we would like to point out a few things based on the testimony and that we had come to intend to share based on the committee analysis. All the testimony that you've heard in the discussion, save for the presentation, was focused on a code section that's not referred to in the bill as we see it. We read on page 3, line 3, that it talks about termination related seniority transfers under subdivision C of 44955. Everything that you've heard discussed by several folks was about negotiations, and those are reassignment transfers that are indeed authorized by statute in the government code in 3543.2 subdivision A paragraph 1. So much of that would not actually apply at all. Nevertheless, we have a concern because under LCAP, and this was to bring to the committee's attention, so if the bill were to move forward, that as things currently stand right now, it looks like the State Board of Education and the Department of Education are dragging their heels on what constitutes success under LCFF. And as you know, you all passed the 8 state priorities, of which number 1 in 52060 subdivision D1 states that the degree to which teachers of the school district are appropriately assigned for the pupils that they are teaching is in fact the number 1 state priority under LCFF. So we do believe there's a state role. We do believe, unfortunately, also that the State Board of Education and the Department of Education are not showing any level of competence to provide information to the legislature or LEAs in terms of guidance about how to comply with that provision. Interestingly, is to put a pin in it, the subdivision D1 cross-references section of Education Code 44258.9 as it relates to whether or not teachers are appropriately assigned, and explicitly talks about decile rankings under the API that were eliminated in a budget trailer bill. So at some point, this issue really needs to be talked about in a reasonable way about the notion of making sure that teachers are absolutely treated fairly and that students have the opportunity to have teachers that are appropriately assigned to them, and to make sure that that transparency is available for purposes of the harmony between the state as the penultimate actor under the state constitution to ensure every kid has the guaranteed fundamental right to basic education equality, but also that at the local level, whereas if the legislature and the governor are asking parents to be part of the stakeholder group, that it would be useful to have the information and in terms of what's going on with this state priority number 1, which is whether or not their children are being taught by teachers that are appropriately assigned. And so while we don't know how this is going to end up in terms of for the future and thinking about reporting, that there's certainly a state role here. It says so in the LCFF unless you really didn't mean it. And then maybe that should be repealed in a trailer bill as well, just like the decile rankings on API. I do believe it's important for economic downturns and issues like declining enrollment that could come on the natural from demography, but even from things like school choice programs, and whether you as a legislature would be interested to know what are the impacts of various state policies as it relates to the effect on enrollment in a district. And then also with respect to what you do when you're asking employers and employees at the local level to deal with the pension obligations under STRS, and whether that they have any externalities that you want to explicitly address or be aware of as it relates to whether or not there are trickle effects into ultimately economic decisions that school boards need to make that are reflected in the number of teachers that they can have as FTEs, and then ultimately what happens then to children in terms of does every child have an opportunity to have an effective teacher. So I felt that this would be maybe the easier way than to write a much more longer, complicated letter, but I hope for the record and the citations that I did put forward that those thoughts go forward if the bill or any future action on this kind of a thing goes forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Any comment, questions from members? Senator Vidak?
Senator Huff, the last speaker brought up these codes, and Mr. Bramble had some great comments that it doesn't seem to jive what the bill's actually saying or what the opposition's saying. Can you help me?
Yeah, I trust the last speaker.
Okay, no other comment from members? I mean, I do appreciate your efforts, your ongoing efforts.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
But I don't see any clear benefit about what you're going to try to do, even though Ed Voice sees some value in data collection, et cetera. And, we all love data here, but to what end, kind of thing. And so I don't, is there any, Senator Vidak is rescuing myself and the rest of this committee by moving your bill. Would you like to close?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chairman. One of the speakers called this bill impractical. Well, the reality is the schools are already collecting this data. So all it is making it available to the Department of Education, and by doing that also to us so we can make more informed decisions. How's that data going to be used? I don't know. But if you don't have it, it can't be used. Somebody else said that, this was, I took umbrage at it. They said schools are not a failure, that the teachers serve with grace and heart. I have no doubt they serve with grace and heart. That's not what's at risk with our kids. It's whether or not they're being effective. Most of them are. Not all of them are. But the sad thing is our schools don't make a differentiation between the small, minor percentage that are not effective with those who are. And so I will go back to what I said before. I am attacking the system because we are failing not just our students, we're failing our hardworking teachers too. By not rewarding those who work hard, by seeing those who do not work as hard the same way, we have devalued their contribution to our kids and their kids' success. If it was not a failure, then why would the pro tem be up here with the first bill of the day asking for more money for our kids that are in the poorest communities? So we acknowledge when it serves our purposes that our educational system is a failure. Not everybody, but certainly there are some that are a huge gap between what's being put in and what the output is. And, we've got a lot of tricky policies to deal with here in education, but we cannot continue to treat this in a quality blind approach. Even the recent appeals court decision on Vergara versus California ruled in favor of teacher tenure, but stated further that, quote, evidence revealed deplorable staffing decisions being made by some local administrators that have a deleterious impact on poor and minority students in California's public schools, end quote. So again, I will restate, we've acknowledged in various ways that our system is broken, whether it's the half that are dropping out, particularly in some of our schools it's higher than that, whether it's the low graduation rate or those that graduate back when we did testing and had an exit exam, they could get to college and still couldn't function. We had to do remedial work. There's so many success stories, but so many failures. This is just saying, let's gather a little more data so we can see if our staffing decisions based on seniority are adding to this problem. That's what I'm asking here, folks. It's not complicated. It's not heavy lifting. It's data. What you do with it in the future is on you, but I feel like I have to make one last pitch for this system, and I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you very much. The bill has been moved.
This is item 6, SB 1224. The motion is due pass to appropriations. Lou? No. Lou, no. Block? No. Block, no. Hancock? Huff?
Aye.
Huff, aye. Leyva? No. Leyva, no. Mendoza? No. Mendoza, no. Monning? Pan? No. Pan, no. Vidak? Aye. Vidak, aye. That's 2-5.
2-5, let's see, who's absent? Okay, we'll keep the roll open for the absent members, but thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members.
Thank you, Senator Huff. Okay, we have one item, it's a vote-only item 14. Item 14 is in your packet, in your agenda packet. There's no presentation. The amendments are on the first page under note, and the analysis was updated to reflect the new amendments. So this is a vote only. Do I hear a motion? The bill has been moved. Okay, let's call the roll.
Item 14, SB 1457. The motion is due pass to the floor. Lou? No. Lou, no. Block? No. Block, no. Hancock? Huff?
Aye.
Huff, aye. Leyva? Aye. Leyva, aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mendoza, aye. Monning? Pan? Aye. Pan, aye. Vidak? Aye. Vidak, aye. That's 5-2.
5-2. Okay, that bill is out. All right, we'll keep the roll open for our absent members.
Yeah,
Okay, members, let's quickly go back and add on if you'd like, or not like. Sure. Okay.
I said selfishly.
And you said it out loud.
The consent calendar is out. I don't know.
Okay, so I did vote on it?
These are the, yes,
You
did.
Okay.
Everyone have a wonderful day.
These are the ones that are out.
Okay, item 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, and 5 are out. So let's go to number 3, SB 1071. Call the absent members, please.
The motion is due pass to appropriations. The vote is 6-0, chair voting aye. Hancock? Huff?
Aye.
Huff, aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mendoza, aye. That's 8.
Coming back? No.
Her staff said she was. Kathleen's checking right now.
Okay.
But that's 8.
Which, all right, what's the,
She is.
she's coming back. Okay, so we'll keep the roll open, and the vote right now is 8-0. Item
6. Yep.
6, SB 1224.
The motion is due pass to appropriations. The vote is 2-5, with the chair voting no. Hancock? Monning?
We'll hold the roll open.
Should I do that one again?
It's item 6, SB 1224. The vote is
2-5.
2-5. 6, SB 224. 1224. You're not voting. Okay. Senator Hancock. Item 6, SB 1224. Huff?
No.
Okay.
Hancock, no. That is 2-6.
2-6. 2-6. Would you like reconsideration, Senator Huff?
Sure.
Thank you. Okay.
It's not too late to change your
Would you like to do? You can do that because it won't change the vote. Okay. All right. So would you like reconsider? So it's the.
Actually, just let it die, that's fine.
Okay.
Because reconsideration is a term of art around here.
It is 2-7. Okay. The bill dies. Item 7, SB 1249 Bates.
The motion is due pass to Budget and Fiscal Review. The vote is 2-2, chair voting no. Block? Hancock? Hancock, no. Mendoza? Mendoza, no. Monning? Pan? Okay, that's 2-4.
2-4. Should we grant reconsideration?
Probably, they haven't said anything.
Right, okay, we'll grant the item 7 reconsideration. All right, item 8, SB 1309.
The motion is due pass as amended to appropriations. The vote is 4-0, chair voting aye. Block? Block aye. Hancock? Hancock aye. Huff?
Aye.
Huff aye. Monning? Monning aye. Pan?
Aye.
Pan aye. That's 9-0.
9-0, the bill is out. Item 9, SB 1343 Wolk.
The motion is due pass to the floor. The vote is 7-0. Lou, the chair voting aye. Hancock? Aye. Hancock aye. Huff? Aye. Huff aye. That's 9-0.
9-0, the bill is out. Item 10, SB 1450 Glazer.
The motion is due pass as amended to appropriations. The vote is 3-1, chair voting aye. Hancock? Huff?
Aye.
Huff aye. Mendoza? Monning? Pan? Pan, no. That's 4-2.
4-2. So who's missing? 6. Oh, okay, we have a couple non-voters. All right, non-voters, okay. So, do we grant that bill reconsideration? You're okay with that? Okay, we'll grant item 10 reconsideration. And item 11, SCA 1, Laura.
The motion is due pass to elections and constitutional amendments. The vote is 3-0. Lou? Block? Hancock? Huff?
Aye.
Huff, aye. Monning? Monning, aye. Pan? That's 5-0.
5-0, that has a...
I'll vote aye.
6.
Hancock, aye. The vote is 6-0.
6-0, that bill is out. Okay, and item 12, SCA 12, Runner.
The motion is due pass to elections and constitutional amendments. The vote is 4-0. Chair voting aye. Block? Hancock? Hancock, aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mendoza, aye. Monning? Pan? That's 6-0.
6-0, that bill is out. Okay, item 13 was pulled by the author, and item 14 we've completed. Did everybody vote?
Yes, it was 5-2.
5-2, that bill is out.
I thought he did not vote. I thought he said not voting. Well, let's go ahead and do it.
We'll go ahead and do that. Okay, item 14, SB 1457.
The vote is 5-2. I'm sorry, the motion is due pass to the floor. The vote is 5-2. Chair voting no. Hancock? Hancock, no. Monning? Monning, no. That's 5-4.
5-4, that bill is out. Okay, any other issues or concerns? Then,
Item 3, Hancock, aye.
hang on.
Okay, item 3 is SB 1071. It's due pass to appropriations. The vote is 8-0. Chair voting aye. Hancock.
Bless you.
Hancock, aye. That's 9-0.
9-0, that bill is out. And Item 5?
I have that out with 9-0.
Oh, you voted, you voted on it. Okay, that's 9-0, that bill is out. Okay, any other issues or questions from members? All right, thank you very much, members. Are we having a meeting next week? Okay, we won't see you next week. I know you'll miss this committee. But we'll see you a little later. Thank you very much, members.